Hello, today we'll be discussing the relationship between brains and computers and how that relationship applies in the discipline of neuroprosthetics. One of the imperative similarities between your brain and a computer is that they both use electrical signals to relay information. Your brain uses electrical messages carried by specialized cells called neurons so it can communicate with other parts of our body. First, the brain relays a message to a neuron. This message originates from the cell body of the neuron. It signals an action potential, which is a change in the electrical charge across a neuron's membrane. In order for the action potential to travel down the axon, the ions potassium and sodium move in and out of the neuron in certain quantities, making the inside more positive than the outside. Once the message reaches the terminal end of the neuron, it allows for the release of neurotransmitters, which then triggers the action potential of the next neuron. This continues, going from neuron to neuron, until the signal reaches the destination, which is usually a muscle. This process may also occur traveling from different receptors that make up your senses and sending information through electrical signals back to your brain. Likewise, your computer sends electrical messages to perform different tasks. Electrical signals that travel down the neural pathway are similar to the electrical signals that travel through cables and allow our technology to work. These computer signals are interpreted as ones and zeros, which will be read by the device and allow the desired program to run. How is that relevant in the world of brain-computer interfaces? Well, with that knowledge, it's possible to create devices that interact with our nervous system and maybe even enable us to do cool things like control robots with our minds or develop better prosthetics. That brings us to the topic of neuroprosthetics. Neuroprosthetics is a field concerned with developing supplements or artificial replacements that allow the nervous system to restore the function of lost senses or motor capabilities. If we can decipher the neural code, we can mimic those electrical signals using computer devices so that sensory information can be relayed to the brain. Switching things around, we can also use our knowledge of the electrical signals from our neurons to translate them into signals that our computer and devices can interpret, and therefore allow us to control devices such as prosthetic limbs via our minds. The field of neuroprosthetics presents a number of possibilities, especially in the area of medical advancements. If we could one day crack the neural code, it would open up new doors in developing prosthetic limbs and bionic sensory devices that are more human-like. For those who have lost their senses and their physical abilities to disease, to genetic defects, or to violence, such as our country's veterans, the development of neuroprosthetics would mean a new chance at experiencing the world to its fullest.